Someone told me I didn't have any organizational savvy. What did they mean by that? There are lots of soft skills you need to succeed at work. Organizational savvy is a series of these skills that if you can use, you'll be more successful. Today we're going to look at what they are, how to use them, and some personal usage that I like. Okay, what is organizational savvy? Look, this is a complicated subject, but I try and simplify it and think about it this way. Not only people, but organizations have emotions and behaviors. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they're motivated, sometimes they're demotivated. The way people react to that behavior can affect your ability to influence them. Being able to read and channel that emotion is having organizational savvy. So, 2, why is this important? We talked in episode 50 about influencing styles. Then what we're trying to do is focus on how you adapt your style to the person you're trying to influence. The same can be true about organizations and how you influence them. People with poor organizational savvy tend to assume that organizations think and behave the way they do. Well, this is closely linked to the culture of the organization. There's really more to it. To influence an organization requires you to tune into its psyche. Now look, some people will tell you that this is political and somehow imply that's a bad thing, but I don't believe that's necessarily true. It's about your ability to influence the organization. 3, how do you get organizational savvy? Like most relationships, the key is listening and observing. As you start to watch for it and see what happens, you'll notice the behavior of the organization. It's important to understand your own style and your leadership approach because that affects what you see. As you start to watch for this behavior, notice it, understand it, try to suggest things and see what happens. Remember, understanding others and their motivations will help you get and deploy organizational savvy. So finally, getting some personal organizational savvy. Many of us are not in places in our jobs where we can influence whole organizations and whole companies, but you can still use these skills by having what I call political antennae and be able to sense a room or a meeting. Process your environment and learn when to ask questions and when not to ask questions. Learn when to speak and when not to speak. Learn when to push, not to push. If you have that, you will demonstrate organizational savvy. Kenny Rogers sung, you gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away and when to run. And the same can be true at work. That savvy could be the key to your success.
You got to know